Hello friends, my name is Rajendra Devpura. I am a .NET trainer having an experience of around more than 10 years, working from .NET from the year 2003. I have worked and trained students on a lot of technologies. I started my career with FoxPro programming language in 1995. Then I moved towards C and C++ in 1999. And then 2000 onwards, I'm working on what? .NET technologies. Along with FoxPro, C language, C++, .NET, I'm well versed with SQL Server. I have worked on BI components, Microsoft BI components, IS, AS and RS. I worked on RDBMS, especially Oracle, and I used a tool Informatica for ETL purpose. Now let's today see an introduction to .NET. What is the .NET and why we are jumping from other languages to .NET. What are the advantages, and then we will see small programs related to .NET. Now, if I want to explain .NET, I can explain .NET in one line. It will change the way we think about programming. It will change the way we think about programming. If you say, please elaborate the definition, what do you mean by this? .NET can be defined as, .NET is a framework. Now we are not saying .NET is a language, we are saying .NET is a framework consisting of two major parts. One is known as Common Language Runtime, also called as CLR. Common Language Runtime, also called as what? CLR. And a set of .NET base classes. Microsoft has provided you a very rich feature of classes. Whatever you want to think, you can. Microsoft has provided you a very rich feature of classes. And with the help of these classes, we can build distributed, secure, scalable, robust, easily deployable, and maintainable applications in a language, independent, object-oriented, web-enabled, managed way using rich level of integration among the present technologies. Now you can see the definition is very complicated, but what is the actual conclusion? That once you are familiar with the .NET framework, you can be able to build any type of application. It may be a console-based application, it may be a web-based application, it may be a Windows-based application, or it is also possible that we can create even an embedded application. All these are possible under .NET, under one framework, that is what? .NET. How to start with the .NET programming? You can work with Visual Studio. Any type of Visual Studio is fine. 2005 you can use, 2008, 2010, 2012, any type of Visual Studio is fine. Launch Visual Studio. Go to File, New Project. Once you launch Visual Studio, go to File, New Project. Once you say Project, this is the dialog available in front of you. Once you say File, New Project, this is the dialog available in front of you. From the left hand side, I am taking here Visual C#. On the right hand side, you can see a lot of templates are available, and I am choosing a template console application. I am choosing a template what? Console application. First time I am taking console application. Give the name, give the location, and say OK. Give the name, location, say OK. So launch Visual Studio, go to File, New Project. Here is the dialog available. From this dialog, from the left hand side, select Visual C# projects. On the right hand side, I am taking a console application. Say OK. Once you say OK, automatically you will see this is the boilerplate available in front of you. In C#.NET, every console application begins with main. In C#.NET, every console application begins with main, and main is always enclosed within a class. Now, if you remember, when you are working with any other language, especially say C language, we begin the program with main and end the program with main. In C language, we begin the program with main, we end the program with main. Got it? If you want to print any message, you can say printf hello. This is we say printf hello. In C#.NET also, every console application begins with main, every console application ends with main, and we need to say console.writeLine. What we are using? Console.writeLine. What is console here? Console is the name of the class. What is writeLine here? writeLine is the name of the function. So console is the name of the class, writeLine is name of the function. So to print a message, we say console.writeLine. Go to start, all programs. Any Visual Studio is fine. You can use 2008, you can use 2010, any type of Visual Studio is fine. Go to file, new project. Go to file, new project. Here you can say Visual C# on the left hand side. I can say here sample. Where you want to store your application, I can say on C drive. Okay. Here I am taking console application. First time I am using what? Console application. Okay. Once you say OK, automatically you can see a common boilerplate appears in front of you. Every console application begins with main, every console application ends with main. I can say console.writeLine. The function we are using here, writeLine. How to execute a program? Control plus F5. You can hit a shortcut key, Control plus F5, and you can see you get the result. Now, why we are saying console application? Because we are getting the result in a DOS window. Here we get the message, hello from C#.NET. Hello from C#.NET. Now, if you observe carefully at the top, you are having system. What is this system? System is a namespace. Namespace. What is a namespace? A namespace is a collection of related classes. What is a namespace? A namespace is a collection of related classes. So console is a class belonging to which namespace? System namespace. So we can say like this. So console is a class, writeLine is a function. We can also say like this, system.console.writeLine. We can also say like this, system.console.writeLine. System is a namespace, console is a class, and writeLine is a member function. writeLine is a member function. Now, if you observe carefully, within the main, there are some arguments available. If you observe carefully, within the main, there are some arguments available, and these are called as what? Command line arguments. These arguments are called as what? Command line arguments. Now, how to traverse the command line arguments? Here you can see the command line argument is nothing but an array of type string. This command line argument is nothing but array of type part string. So how to traverse the elements of an array? We can use for each. What we are going to use? For each. Here you can see S is a variable of the type string. Here array args is of the type string. So to traverse the elements of the array args, one local variable we are using S of the type string. In is the keyword and we are traversing in an array args. So for each, what we are going to use? For each. But right now if you run the program by using a for each loop, what you will find? No output. No output. You can verify. Here I can say for each string S in args, and I can say console.writeLine. Here I can say console.writeLine. But when you hit Control F5, you can see no output. See here, no output. Why? The reason is array is empty. Why you are not getting any result? The array is empty. How to provide the values to array? Go to Solution Explorer. Solution Explorer is a window available on the right side of your program, right side of your Visual Studio screen. Here is the project name. Right click on the project name. Right click on the project name. You will get a small pop-up. Go to Properties. Here you can see you will get a window. From this window, go to Configuration Properties. Go here to Debug, and here you can provide command line arguments. Now I am providing here 3 arguments: talent, computer, education. Talent will be stored at location number 0. Computer will be stored at location number 1. Education will be stored at location number 2. In arrays, numbering always starts from 0 onwards. Remember, in arrays, numbering always starts from 0 onwards. So what we have? Talent stored at 0 location, computer stored at location number 1, education stored at location number 2. Say OK. Now you run the program, you get the result. Here is your Solution Explorer. Right click on the name of the project. Here you can see a pop-up available. Go to Properties. Go to Debug section, and here you can see command line arguments. I say talent, computer, education. Talent will be stored at location number 0. Computer will be stored at location number 1. Education will be stored at location number 2. Close this. Now hit Control F5 and you can see the result: talent, computer, education. You can see the result: talent, computer, education. Now here we are getting the result in 3 different lines. The reason is we are using write line. What happens with write line? Once you print the string, the cursor will be jumped to the beginning of the next line. The cursor will jump to the beginning of the next line. This is the reason we are going for write line. If you want the result in same line, you can go for write. You can go for write. But if you go for write, see here, talent, computer, education, 1 line, but there is no space between the 2 words. How to add a space? Here you can see. You can add a space. Now see here. Plus here means concatenation. Plus here represents what? Concatenation. So both the functions are available. You can go for console.write and you can go for console.writeLine. Both the functions are available from the class console. In C#, whatever the data types available we have character, we have integer, we have real, and we have what? Boolean. For character, the keyword is char. For character data type, the keyword available is char. Integer divides into 2 types: signed integer and unsigned integer. Integer divided into 2 types. We have signed integer, we have unsigned integer. Signed integer means the last bit is always used to represent sign. Signed integer means the last bit is always used to represent sign. These are the data types like sbyte, short, int, long, etc. When we have unsigned data type. Unsigned means the last bit is not used to represent sign. Unsigned means the last bit is not used to represent sign. Byte, ushort, uint, ulong, these are the data types available. So integer divides into two types, signed integer, unsigned integer. Real, we have float, we have double. And for Boolean, only one data type is available, bool. Bool is a data type that can take only two values. Bool is a data type that can take only two values, that is true or false. So whatever the data types available. Now apart from these data types, we have decimal, we have string, and we have object. So these are the data types we have in C#. Now which data type is going to occupy how much space in the memory? What is how much space occupied by a data type in the memory? See here, size is given to you. Character occupies 2 bytes in memory. Integer occupies 4 bytes in memory. Clear? Float occupies 4 bytes in memory. Plus you can see the default value. Integer has a default value of 0. Float has a default value of 0.0. Bool has a default value of false. So there is no concept of garbage here. What we are having, each data type has its own default value. So there is no concept of garbage. Now, C#.NET is an object-oriented language. Why? Why it is called as object-oriented language? What do you mean by object-oriented? What we say that whatever you will see in this world, they are objects. Be it a car is the object. Be it a window is the object. So whatever you can see in this world, they are objects. Now what is an object? An object is the one that has certain properties associated with it. What is an object? An object is the one that has certain properties associated with car. What are the properties associated with a car? Like engine, gearbox, brake, AC. What are the properties associated with a window? Like toolbar, dockable toolbar, menu, etc. So the entire world, this complete entire world is treated as object oriented. Say engine, what are the properties related to engine? That what is the temperature, viscosity, RPM, and how to manipulate these properties. These properties can be manipulated with the help of what are called as the procedures. These properties can be manipulated by what are called as procedures. Say for example, I go for toolbar. These are the properties related to toolbar. These are the properties related to what? Toolbar. What is the size of a toolbar? How many buttons you have in a toolbar? What is the size of a button? Size of a color of a toolbar? Font of a button? Toolbar button, etc. And how to manipulate them? We can again use procedures. Procedures are also called as what? Functions, and properties are also called as what? Data. So this entire world is treated as object oriented, and in object oriented programming we are working with what? Properties and procedures. Now for C#.NET programming, this entire object oriented programming can be done with the help of two entities. We require two entities. One is known as a class and one is known as the object. One is known as a class and one is known as the object. What is a class? Class is always generic in nature. Objects are always unique. Means you can create any number of objects and these objects are always unique to each other. One object has no relation with any other object. Objects are always independent to each other. So two entities, one we are using class and one we have what? Object. So any object oriented programming language you can go for, either it may be C++ or .NET or Java or PHP. Every object oriented programming has three major cornerstones: data encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. One we have data encapsulation, one we have inheritance, and one we have polymorphism. Data encapsulation, that hides the complexity of the data. Inheritance means reuse of the code, and polymorphism means generalizing of actions. So every object-oriented programming has three major cornerstones: data encapsulation, inheritance, and we have polymorphism. And all these we are going to facilitate with the help of two entities, class and object. And the language that we are going to use, C#.NET. The language for this purpose we are going to use is C#.NET. So now we have to start with the object-oriented features of C#.NET. So this is just a small introductory lecture I provided to you on .NET. What is the .NET? How to start .NET? And how to write two simple basic programs in .NET. As we go along in the course, we are going to discuss a lot of topics related to what? .NET. Thank you so much.